There are signs of growing global disorder with conflict worsening in Syria, Iraq, Gaza and Ukraine. And it comes at a time when New Zealand is making a push for a seat on the United Nations Security Council. International Relations Professor Robert Patman joins us to discuss the situation. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca.
Tell us about the country's bid for the Security Council.
Well, we're just 4 months away from the outcome being decided. We're in competition with two other countries for two places, that is Turkey and Spain. So it's New Zealand, Turkey and Spain who are competing for two places. It's called non-permanent places. And the competition is that they're bidding to get the support of other members of the General Assembly. It's 193 states in the UN. So it's tight competition, and New Zealand probably isn't spending as much in trying to win the support of other member states as Turkey and Spain.
What do we have to prove to be accepted?
I think we have to build on our credentials, as we're known as a country which is quite capable of taking independent decisions, which has no axe to grind in crucial hotspots in the world, and therefore can offer independent judgment. Also, we are representative of the majority in the UN system. We are a small or medium-sized state, and that is the majority. About 180 out of the 193 states fall into that category. So quite a few small players will be looking for New Zealand to represent their interests on the Security Council.
Are we likely to make it on?
I think we've got a very good chance. I think, however, given the context in which we're bidding, I think the global disorder in some key parts of the world, I think many states will be looking for New Zealand to do something to constrain the veto. This is the system which the permanent 5 members of the Security Council, they have the right to veto any resolution they don't like, which means there's often the UN is paralysed in situations like Syria, Gaza at the moment, the Ukraine, and Iraq, because those hotspots are subject to great powers disagreeing over what to do, and that means the UN does nothing. And I think the New Zealand position has been, we've got to rein in the use of the veto in order so that the UN can be liberated to act more effectively in some of the most dangerous spots in the world.
What is John Key doing about it?
Well, both Mr McCulley and John Key have said that they want to see the veto constrained. So that message has gone out. They've been talking about it for 2 years. It won't be easy to persuade those who've got the veto to surrender it, but what they might agree, if there's enough pressure, if New Zealand gets enough support, they might agree to it being circumscribed or restrained in some way. I think the crucial thing here is that these conflict situations are a major challenge to a country like New Zealand, because we stand for a rules-based international order. Because we're small and potentially weak, we need the rule of law to operate globally. And therefore these situations are a major challenge to us diplomatically, but also economically. For example, in the Middle East, we get about 24% of the oil we import. So we do have a big stake in that situation becoming more stable.
Is it a bad time to be vying for a seat on this council?
Not necessarily. It's not. It is. You know, it's competitive to going up against two big countries like Turkey and Spain. But we have an opportunity to present a distinctive bid, and I think I think many people are looking for New Zealand to make a distinctive contribution, and we shouldn't underestimate little New Zealand's potential influence. We're widely admired internationally. And I think that we've already showed a propensity to take a stand. We took a stand on non-nuclear defence back in the mid-80s. We took a stand in opposing the US-led invasion of Iraq. So I think people are looking for us to make a stand now.
Professor of International Relations, Robert Patman, thank you
you
so much for your time.